Good morning, everyone. I'm Rick Stanley, your host on Chamber Talk on 104.3 Seacoast Oldies. Thank you for joining me this morning. My guest today is from the Saco Center of the University of Maine System, and his name is Dan Philbrick. Dan, how are you?
Good. I'm great, Rick. How are you?
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in, and I think this will be interesting because a lot of people will get, to tie this all University of Maine System in a little bit better, because you got Augusta, and you got University of Southern Maine, and you got Orono, and you got 9, 10 campuses and things like that. So I think it'll be kind of fun and interesting to talk about the Augusta Center.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
All right.
So we are the University of Maine at Augusta.
Okay.
You're right. There are 7 campuses in the system.
Uh-huh.
But I work for the University of Maine at Augusta, and that's who has 7 centers located throughout the state.
And the newest one is Saco? Is that the newest one?
No. The newest one, I guess you would have to say, is Lewiston.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Saco has actually been around since, we've been in Saco for over 40 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, well, I'm glad I had you on because I didn't know that.
It's gone through different iterations of like who oversees it. At one point, the center in Saco was under the University of Southern Maine.
Uh-huh.
It's now, all the centers are now under the University of Maine at Augusta.
Uh-huh.
But no, the centers had a presence in York County and Saco for over 40 years. Okay. So we were located at the mill downtown.
209 Main Street, Suite 104.
That's where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it started in the mill.
Yeah.
We moved in 2014 to the Saco Valley Shopping Complex.
Uh-huh.
We were there for 10 years. And then this past year, in December, we moved downtown on 209 Main Street, Suite 104.
Nice Main Street, too.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, great to be down there.
We love being downtown.
Uh-huh.
It's been great.
Now, we'll get into what the amenities are. There's no campus, per se.
No.
So it's a...
But UMA does have 2 campuses. One's in Augusta, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the other's in Bangor.
Right. Okay. So I'll go back a little bit where I was thinking first. How does the university system tie in? I mean, you're the Augusta, it's like a community college.
Well,
kinda?
They wouldn't want you to
okay,
say
don't
that.
say
No,
community college.
There is a community college system in Maine. It's a great community college system, and so there's Southern Maine Community College,
right.
York County Community
we
College.
We have that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they all have their own campuses, but it's its own separate system. And they offer a lot of, I'll call it like workforce type degrees
right,
or associate
yeah.
degrees.
It can be,
so they specialize in associate degrees.
Yeah, they can even do programs for business
correct.
that will help train employees,
exactly.
things like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So UMA does that as well.
Yeah.
But yes, they're really the leader in that area. But the University of Maine system is a separate system. We have our own chancellor. Each campus has their own president, their own budgets, and so it is.
Is there a competition there with a? I mean, so who's your? So if again, I don't quite figure it out. University of Maine Augusta, University of Maine Orono,
mm-hmm.
University of Southern Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Does University of Southern Maine have satellites in Northern Maine?
No, the University of Southern Maine has 3 campuses. One is in Portland, the other's in Gorham, and the third is in Lewiston.
Right, but you have Augusta.
Yes.
And Saco.
Well, the campuses for the University of Maine at Augusta are in Augusta
right.
and Bangor.
Okay, so 2 where we have students that can stay on campus, dorms, things like that.
Actually, UMA is just we're now in the dorm world.
Uh-huh.
If I was doing this interview with you 5 years ago, I would say we had no dorms.
Okay,
but we do have dorms now in Hollowell.
Okay,
and we're also exploring hotel space in Bangor, and I believe there's some in Augusta as well because we found that students do want dorm space.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's some the college experience.
Yep.
Kind of, for the younger ones. I know your average age is not. You told me this morning it was 33 years old.
In Saco it is.
Okay,
yes, it
right.
varies from center to center, but I would say between 28 and 33 is what UMA really specializes.
They
in.
probably don't look for the dorm experience
not
as much.
normally.
You know,
Yeah, right.
younger ones would. I mean, I went to college, and I went to back with defunct school now, Nassau College in Springvale. For 2 years, I lived at home. You know, you miss a lot of the social college experience living at home. I transferred out after that. I went out of state, and then got to enjoy that part of it immensely, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
You know, but you know, it is part of the whole experience to
It
be
can
able
be,
to
yes,
do that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm jumping on you, I know, because
No, that's
things
all right.
come to mind. You know.
That's-
So, all right. So, I was asked by someone from your office that you would come down here and talk to us about it. So, and I was thrilled because I didn't know anything about it. You know, that Augusta Center is in Saco, and it's been there as long as you told me, I guess. Tell us about what the Saco Center offers for the area.
So what really any center brings to the communities that they're in, and like I said, there's 7 centers. So Saco, Lewiston, Rumford, Rockland, Brunswick, Ellsworth, and East Millinocket. But what each center can bring to the community that they're in is we extend the programs from the Augusta and Bangor campuses to these local communities. So if you happen to be a resident of York County and you want or you're interested in a degree program from the University of Maine at Augusta, you can attend, and a lot of people attend virtually now.
Yeah.
A lot of your classes are online or they're through Zoom. So a lot of people never really have to even leave home. But for that support and advising, student support, tutoring, that's where the centers really
Now I get
come through
why
and
the
shine.
reason you would do that. It creates a satellite support where they can actually talk to somebody or come physically to a place.
Yeah, I mean, if you think
Yeah.
about it as like a big bank, so a large bank would probably have a good headquarters anchored in a large city like Portland or Augusta, but then they also have these branch banks in these local communities,
Yeah.
and you can go in and talk to a representative and ask questions about your account. It's the same kind
Register
of
for
idea.
that
Exactly.
way too
Yep.
as well. And,
Yep, exactly.
Even probably if you're going to apply for to be a student,
Yep.
right? You can do all that face to face instead of everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is a good. Okay, now I kind of get it.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to think, well, why am I want to be, associated with the Augusta campus if it's down in, if there's only like a little building down in Saco. So that's for the support, the satellite support,
Right.
where you can meet people. So tell me about the space itself and what what you've got over there.
Sure. So
In Saco,
we
anyway.
downsize considerably from the location we were at before. I'm blanking on our square footages now, but we dropped down. I think it was like cut in half. So we used to have a little over 4,000 square feet. We're now down to about 2,000 square feet. So we have 3 classrooms. We have
So classes, there are some classes taken there.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We have on-site instructors that come in and teach the class there, but they're also at the same time on Zoom, so they can actually broadcast throughout the whole state.
So somebody wanted to take something that they can't get up in Augusta, but it's being instructed down in Saco.
Right.
They can.
Or conversely, the instructor, it works for University of Maine at Augusta, but they happen to live in Biddeford or Alfred.
Right.
They can teach now locally in the communities that they're in, and then that way Augusta isn't bound just to have everybody in Augusta or in Bangor.
Yeah, good. That's good. That's good to have. How many students are throughout the system itself?
Throughout the system?
Well, throughout your.
Well, so we're responsible currently for a little over 300 students. The way that UMA does it is they kind of assign people by where they live and their zip code, and that depending on what their zip code is, that's what center will serve that student. So, and I think the system works great.
So give me an example. If let's say I live up, let's say I live up in Portland. So I want to I want to register as a student at the University of Maine, Augusta. I don't go to Augusta per se.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Nope.
I can though.
You could.
I could. I
Sure.
could go out,
Yeah.
because there is dorms and a
Yep. But even if
campus, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's say you applied online, University of Maine Augusta, you were accepted,
Yeah.
and you lived in Portland.
Uh-huh.
Now, Portland's an interesting example because we kind of have Portland split. Some are shared are with Saco, the others are with our Brunswick Center.
Okay.
So it depends on where you are in Portland and what zip code you have.
Okay, yeah.
But let's say you're assigned to the Brunswick Center, or you're accepted by UMA, you live in North Portland, and they're going to assign you to the Brunswick Center, and that's going to be your center that's going to serve and support
Your
you.
support center.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's just the system. That's how we do it.
So they know going in that they're going to be assigned to. Now, can they say, "Well, I'd rather go to Saco"?
Oh, people can go anywhere they
Okay,
want.
all right. So
Yeah,
this give
we-
you. It's kind of like
Right.
this is where we think it would be best for you, but you don't necessarily have to.
Right, and,
pick-
and,
make that
and
pick.
also that's where we come up with that number that I gave. That's how many students
Uh-huh.
have been assigned to us,
Uh-huh.
and that's basically their placement. But
Uh-huh.
you can go to any location. I should probably also mention that some of the programs require you to be at a certain location. So, for example, if you're in the architecture program at UMA, that is a residential program. You have to go to Augusta.
Oh, okay.
So if you live in Shapley or York,
Yeah.
and you want to be an Augusta student, you might want to look into that dorm,
Yeah.
or you would have to commute
Yeah.
that far because certain programs require you to be on location.
Right, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And average? Did we talk average age of your students?
Well, yeah, the average age of our students at the centers right now is between 30 and 33.
And what do they want to get? That's kind of old.
It is.
So
most people are either, don't have their college degree, never got it, or have some college, maybe started, never finished. So they're possibly finishing that degree they never started,
Uh-huh.
or they never had a college degree and they're starting out with a college degree
Uh-huh.
because of a job change
Uh-huh.
or a different career.
yeah, and if they can do it from home by Zoom.
Mhm.
Oh, there's another question. Can they do it on their own time? Can they? Do you
Depends.
tape your classes that somebody can go in at a later
Yeah.
time in the evening to listen?
I would say the majority of the classes, that's the way they're set up at UMA. So even if there's a specific day and time that the instructor is holding class,
Uh-huh.
a lot of instructors have what they call delayed viewing or asynchronous. So let's say I work every day from 8 to 5, but my business class that I'm taking is at 8 o'clock that morning until 10 o'clock. Well, the instructor is actually recording it, so I can go home that night and
Uh-huh.
watch that class that I had that
Okay.
morning. The disadvantage of that is you don't have real time if you have questions,
Right.
but all their instructors are always very responsive. You can email them; they'll get back to you.
Say I watched at night and I have this
didn't-
question, and they
Exactly.
get back to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's quite a lot. That's quite a convenience.
It's very convenient.
It really
yeah.
is, you know.
And we've had that kind of set up and system for over 30 years because
Yeah.
we used to have what they call the ITV system or instructional television, and it was the same. And they used to record everything onto videotapes, and you'd have to go into the centers to check out the videotape to watch the class you either missed or wanted to
Wow,
review.
yeah, imagine that.
Then they were with CDs for a little while. Then they went completely digital, and
Uh-huh.
now we just live in the Zoom world.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
digitized.
Yeah, even us here, we do some conversations with there's somebody, a board member who can't ever make it
Mhm.
because we switched the times a few years ago, and he wanted to stay on the board, and we want him on the board. So he zooms in
Yep.
to the meetings,
Yep.
and he's just not even close to be here. So it's quite a convenience to be able to do that.
Yeah, very
For sure.
convenient. Yeah.
Let me see. Let's talk about the cost.
Mm.
You pay by the credit hour, or do you? How do you pay?
Yeah. So it is by credit hour. Most classes are 3 credits, and you're gonna catch me with my pants down here.
It's
I don't
okay.
know
I won't hold you to it.
The current what the credit hour cost is right now, but I do know that UMA is the lowest tuition in the system.
Really?
So we have the lowest cost per credit hour in the system.
Well, if you went to the University of Maine, I think I looked that up. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm probably wrong. Is it like for this just, the student, not dorms and that kind of stuff, like $12,000 or $13,000 a year?
Oh, not that much.
It's
No.
less than that.
Yeah. A year? So I would say if it depends on how many classes you're taking, what your load is.
Yeah.
Most people tend to take 2 or 3 classes per semester.
Yeah.
So let's say you took 3 classes. Each class is still about, I'd say, $1,000 a piece.
Through the University of
Through the UMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be a little more, a little less than that. But so you're talking like $3,000 per semester, so $6,000 a year.
Okay.
But in addition to that, there are fees. There are, other
Books
incidental
and things you gotta
books.
get, right?
Exactly,
And
exactly.
Other things.
But
that's still a quite inexpensive
Yes,
education overall.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then depending on if you qualify, there's financial aid and
Well,
scholarships.
that's another question I was going to have. So I got to assume a lot of, now we've had this luxury in the last several years of the community college system having free tuition.
Yes.
Does that carry over to you guys at all?
No, it doesn't. However, University of Maine at Augusta has what we call the Pine Tree State Pledge.
I looked that up. I didn't read it through, but I was going to ask you about
It's
that.
essentially the same kind of deal that the state has with the community college system.
Which is coming to an end this year.
It'll phase out, I think, with the folks graduating by 2027.
Yeah.
But yes, it is. They have not funded
they
it
didn't
to go
allocate
on.
any more money
Right.
for it.
But with the Pine Tree State Pledge, what that does is it essentially works the same way. If you're eligible, you have to be eligible for Pell though, and that's the only difference. Right now, with
Pell
the
is a grant?
grant from the federal government.
Yeah.
Yes, based on income.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it's been set up with the community college system is that anyone from the state of Maine can get a free community college education.
Uh-huh.
So what the community colleges are doing was they would take Pell funding if you qualified, but then they cover the rest. And if you didn't qualify for Pell at all, they would still cover you because
Oh.
they were getting funding from the state and also
Uh-huh.
other sources. The Pine Tree State Pledge basically did the same thing, except we could only take people that qualify for Pell. We didn't have any like backup sources
Okay.
if you
Uh-huh.
were if you did qualify financially.
Uh-huh.
So Pell covers so much, and then we would make up the difference. So it's essentially tuition free.
Really?
That you could go.
That's the way it is today.
The Pine Tree State Pledge is not going away, and
Really?
so we still have that.
So everybody listening, you can pretty much, if you qualify, could go to school
if you qualify,
for free.
almost,
Well,
almost,
almost
yeah.
free. Okay.
It's a good deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. That's awesome. So I don't want to bring up the scholarship end of it. I mean, is that kind of like a scholarship in itself, is free? But are there other things, if you don't qualify for it for some reason, are there still other scholarships that
Yes.
somebody can?
So
That middle, the people get caught in the middle.
Yep.
They make too much to qualify
Yep.
for everything and not enough to,
yeah,
pay for it all.
So there are a lot of actually, there's a huge, I think, untapped sources of scholarships that are out there. It requires, though, I think, a lot of work on someone's end to do the research, do the applications,
Uh-huh.
do it, and we find that I think that's what kind of stops people from doing that. But,
Yeah.
I think the funds are there. It's just you need to go identify them
Yeah.
and find out where they are. We work with the Maine Education Opportunity Center, which is a TRIO program that is in the system. And they help people, first of all, they help people file their FAFSAs, so to apply for financial aid. And the other thing they do is they help identify scholarship money and other funding sources that are
Uh-huh.
out there. So when students come in and ask us, how can I pay for this, we always put them in touch with our MEOC representative.
Uh-huh.
And our representative comes to the center once a week to meet with students. She's also available to meet with them in the community, at a local library
Oh, good.
or
Yeah.
things like that. So,
All right.
and anywhere within York County.
But that's, I mean,
So-
one of the top reasons that people are hesitant. One is they work now and they don't seem to have the time to go to college full time.
Right.
Or they think it's too expensive.
Right.
Don't understand that.
Right.
They don't understand that. So having somebody in your office, especially Saco, which is our area,
Mm-hmm.
not far to go to, they can set up a time to come up and say, you know, I'd like to take one of your undergraduate programs, you know, and become I don't know, pick anything, law enforcement, whatever.
Sure.
And say, but I don't know if I could afford to do it.
Right.
Somebody could sit down with them and say, okay, let's go over your financial situation and we'll see if you can qualify for.
Right. Absolutely.
That can happen
That
over
can
in
happen.
Saco.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the biggest it is got to be the biggest barrier for most people. They just don't think they can afford.
It is, I think, but you mentioned work, and the other thing I think that goes untapped a lot of times is a lot of places where people work, they have tuition reimbursement.
Absolutely.
You know, all your big grocery store chains usually have that. Your larger retailers, some large companies that are manufacturers.
Yeah.
So it's always worth exploring. You know, what can your employer do?
Right.
They might be willing to pay for one or two classes for
A
you.
lot of times if they're going in as a new employee, that becomes one of the perks.
Right.
When they sign on, you know, you'll get unlimited classes up to so much per year for you to further your education.
Right.
You know, anybody who looking at in a job situation ought to look at those types of benefits
Yes.
included. And it's not always just the salary
No.
or, you know, the wage or whatever. You know, it's your health care and it's your retirement money. And it's your further education.
Yep.
Right? Which
Yeah,
can.
'cause it could mean advancement within that company, or to take those skills and grow into another company.
Yeah.
That's how I got my master's degree. So the University of Maine system paid basically for me to get my master's degree. They covered my classes.
Wow.
And that's the reason I got the job I have today.
Uh-huh. Well, that's awesome. In case you just join me, my guest is Dan Philbrick, and he is with the University of Maine Augusta Center.
Yes.
Over in Saco,
Yep.
so he's not far from us in Springvale. And they're at 209 Main Street, which is not far from the post office in Saco. You can find them, I'm sure.
Same building as the Saco Scoop. So if you like ice cream,
Saco
stop
Scoop,
by
right there.
for an ice cream.
Well,
and
we
then-
got a
and
lot
then-
of good ice cream here in Sanford,
Okay,
Springvale. You don't
right.
have to go to Saco
We
for
also
ice
have a
cream.
bakery in the building too, so it's murder going to work every day. You
Oh,
have all
boy.
these temptations.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it to the day. Hey, Dan, how about getting in? I mean, qualifying to get into the system, to get into the University of Maine Augusta. Student have to have certain grades, or what are those qualifications to get in?
Well, you know, I don't want to say the bar is low or anything like that. You still have to demonstrate that you're going to be able to do the work.
So even I might be able to get in.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
You definitely.
Don't
I think.
laugh.
I mean, they took me.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
But it also depends on like maybe what you've done in the past. So obviously, if you're, let's say you started at another university or college campus, maybe even within the community college system, and dropped out. You know, sometimes depending on your record, you might not be able to transfer everything from that institution over, depending on how things went. Essentially, maybe even starting over again. But definitely, it's worth applying because most people get in. Now, depending on what program they want, some programs are more competitive than others.
Don't have room for them. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yeah. So they're limited to the amount of people that they can take on.
Yeah.
Plus, the skills you need or the background that you need to qualify to start studying that degree
Could shut you out.
could
Yeah.
possibly. But we have resources in place for people like that. So let's say you were terrible at math and you have some poor math skills or something.
Well, that's me.
Okay. So we'll set you up with adult ed, in our case in Saco. We could here in Sanford as well. Get you those skills that you need, retest you, and then that way you'll qualify to come in and start taking the college courses that you need.
Dan, that's a good point you made, that you have a partnership in some ways with adult education.
Yes.
Now, we have a pretty good adult education program
And
here
we're
in
partners
Sanford.
with them here. Yep.
And so anybody listening thinking that, like in my case, math is certainly not my subject, but to be able to have, and adult ed is pretty flexible too. Things that you can go, you can get GED there, especially if you don't have a high school diploma. You can get that through adult education. But there are so many other programs that they have that can further your opportunity to get into the University of Maine at Augusta.
Absolutely.
So that's a good partnership.
Yeah. And really quickly, we have a scholarship. We mentioned scholarships earlier. It's called the Osher Scholarship. That gives you a taste of college. Anyone can come in and use an Osher Scholarship. It gives you a class, free of books, free of tuition, try college. And
really?
And
anybody else do that?
Anyone can do that. Yep.
I don't. Does any other university? I've never heard of that.
I'm not
come
sure.
on in and try us out.
Yeah, it's all sponsored by the Osher Foundation, and we have funds that people can try college.
Really?
Yeah.
So could I get on the campus for an overnight?
Well, we can't do that.
All right. All right. I'm too old for that anyway. I don't think the cake parties and me would get along anymore. So, Dan, I covered a lot of ground from my end that I had looked up. There are maybe a few things that you might want to bring up that I haven't talked about. Is there anything you can think of?
Well, there's Rick. There's so much to cover. In fact, I think it's almost even like worth maybe another show someday or something. But the one thing I guess I would end by saying is that the University of Maine at Augusta is really, I'll call it like the people's college. We meet people where they are in their communities and provide those degrees that they need in order to either better their career, or change their lives. And that's what really the centers excel at, and the University of Maine at Augusta excels at.
I know I had one thing I thought of real quick while we got a minute. Do people go in the summertime? Is it year round?
Yeah, we have a summer session. And so, yes, you can go year round.
Okay.
Yep.
Because maybe some people have more time in the summer.
Yep.
Well, who knows? And again, if you don't have to travel, because you can take these classes online, snowstorms don't mean a thing anymore.
They don't.
Hardly, unless the faculty can't make it.
Well,
we
have policies in place for the faculty, and the provost doesn't expect us to work on a snow day. But, but you're right. Yeah. Essentially, you don't need to worry about the weather anymore.
But that's quite. I know somebody who took classes for a year or two, and winter was always, the thing you're worried about. So, well, not online,
right?
For the most part,
as long as your internet's up.
Yeah, as long as that works. That doesn't always work either around here or there. So, Dan, I want to thank you very much for coming in. This was kind of the thing you called me. In a short period of time, you were able to come over, and that doesn't happen very often. So,
great. No, I'm
glad
it worked out. It was great.
Very much doing that. So. My guest today has been Dan Philbrick, and he was with the University of Maine, Augusta, at the Saco Center. So keep that in mind. There's a center close by that you can get to, and you can talk to people about being part of the University of Maine at Augusta. And they're located at 209 Main Street, Suite 104 in downtown Saco. If you have any other questions, contact them. I mean, you can contact me. I can find them probably if you can't, if anybody else can't. But in the meantime, thanks for being my guest today,